Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Monday means it's Modern Monday here in Instant Deck Tech land, but this isn't just any Modern Monday. It's actually Christmas today, and I really wanted to have a Christmas flavored deck to celebrate the holiday. So I know this is a bit of a stretch, but here's what I came up with. We have today Green Red Monsters. Recently took CJ Young to a top 8 finish at a SCG Modern IQ. So congrats to CJ on a super cool deck. And now here you're thinking, how is Green Red Monsters Christmas? So bear with me a minute. First off, green red are colors kind of associated with Christmas, so I think it works on that level. On the other hand, monsters, and Green Red Monsters in specific, the first thing I think of is CVM, Chris Van Meter. Chris Van Meter, very big beard. Santa Claus, very big beard. Christmas, beard. Santa Claus, CVM, Green Red Monsters. If you could follow my train of thought, Green Red Monsters is actually the perfect Christmas deck. Anyway, a quick reminder before we break down Green Red Monsters for Modern. If you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So this deck is pretty straightforward. We're looking to do one thing: ramp into really big green and red things, beat our opponent down. We're not really playing much removal, we're not really playing any tricks, we're just casting big stuff as often as possible, as quickly as possible, and hoping that's enough to take over the game. So we start off on the early turns with Birds of Paradise, Sylvan Carry added. Don't do much on their own, but they help us ramp into our monsters. So that's kind of very important to our deck. We have a lot of 3-drops, 4-drop, 5-drops, and playing them fairly on turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 probably isn't going to be good enough for Modern. But if we can start playing them on turn 2, on turn 3, then we can get in a lot of damage and hopefully win the game with our monsters. So we start off with our ramp, then we have a bunch of different creatures. We have some value creatures, primarily Courser of Kruphix, Tireless Tracker. Courser just gains us a bit of life, lets us get lands off of the top of our deck so we draw more action, almost kind of like drawing a card or part of a card. Tireless Tracker literally lets us draw cards. When we make land drops, we get clues, sack them, make our Tireless Tracker big. We can play these as early as turn 2 if we have a Birds of Paradise on turn 1 and start generating some value. So these are our value creatures. Then we have some pump creatures. Boon Satyr, haven't seen this one in a while. It was a thing in Standard. Basically, you can play as a 4/2 with Flash, which is already pretty good. Wait till the end of your opponent's turn, flash it in, start attacking for 4. You can also play it for 5 mana and bestow it on another creature and make a really huge threat. You can do this during combat since it has Flash, so you flash it in on black creature, deal tons and tons of damage. Gorkland Rampager, kind of the same way. You can discard it with Blood Rush to give a creature +4/+4 and trample for just 2 mana. So it's kind of a straight up pump spell, and even a pretty good pump spell. On the other hand, a 4/4 trample for 4 isn't the worst deal anyway, so if we don't have a good creature to Blood Rush on, we can always just play Gorkland Rampager as a threat on its own. Finally, Ronas Indomitable. We have a ton of huge monsters in our deck, so we're pretty much always going to have a creature with power 4 or greater, which means Ronas is just a 5/5 death touching indestructible that randomly gives our other creatures trample and pumps them. Also, discarding Gorkland Rampager on Ronas, super sweet, since death touch trample interacts really well. Just deal 1 damage to whatever creature happens to be blocking, trample over for the other 8 damage, way to force through a ton of damage. We also have Polukranos, which is kind of our removal creature. We make a decent amount of mana, so we can blow up a bunch of Lingering Souls tokens, maybe 1 big creature, plus it's a 5/5 for 4, which is already pretty good, gets bigger with Monstrous, so just another huge monster to keep attacking, and killing our opponent. Suruk the Hunt Caller is interesting since we should always have Formidable. All we need is Suruk and basically any non-mana dork creature in our deck. We have Formidable, we get to give a creature haste, slam in with a hasty Polukranos or some of our other big creatures, and like every creature in our deck, it's just efficient. A 5/4 for 4 is already already a pretty good deal, even discounting the ability. So a cool addition to the deck there. Finally, to close out the game, we're leaning on a bunch of dragons. In the 4-mana slot, we got Thunderbreak Regent, which isn't our most powerful dragon, but it does kind of protect our more powerful dragons. If our opponent wants to kill them, they got to take 3 damage. So that does add up, and a 4/4 flyer for 4 isn't bad anyway. The main finishers, though, we have 3 Stormbreath Dragons, 3 Thundermaw Hellkites. There's kind of a debate in Modern over which of these is better. Stormbreath, better against white decks because you can't get Path. On the other hand, Thundermaw Regent, better against decks with flyers because it taps them and kills them. It's also a little bigger, but Stormbreath's head monstrous. This deck doesn't even care about the argument. It's just like, we'll play both of them. 3 and 3, so I don't care which one's better. We're just going to play them all. Hope that our big hasty dragons can get the game closed out. So that's basically the idea of the deck. Wrap into really big, powerful things, play some value creatures on turn 2 and turn 3, start slamming dragons on turn 3 or turn 4, hope that those dragons with the big hasty bodies in the air can close out the game. The rest of the deck, Xenagos the Reveler, pretty interesting, can make some hasty tokens, also pluses to make mana, which can help us monstrous, like our Stormbreath Dragon, deal a bunch of damage that way. If we ultimate, it's going to be insane. We're going to have like a mini Genesis wave and just dump a ton of huge creatures on the battlefield. Crater's Claw gives us a tiny bit of removal. We should always have Ferocious, which makes it a little bit more effective. Can also go face to close out the game. Beast Within removal that also can attack Tron lands. And then Blood Moon, just to slow our opponent down. We talked about how playing 3 drops, 4 drops, 5 drops, a little bit slow in Modern, but Blood Moon makes the game a little bit slower for our opponents. Make sure that we have time to cast those huge things. Also helps us fight through unfair decks where we don't really have much interaction. Mana base wise, really simple. 8 fetch lands, a playset of Stomping Grounds, a bunch of basic lands. In the sideboard, Anger of the Gods gives us a sweeper that actually misses a lot of our creatures. It kills some mana dorks, but doesn't kill most of our creatures because they're so big. Ancient Grudge to blow up Affinity and other artifacts. Guttural Response to fight through counterspells from the blue deck. Relic for graveyards. Obstinate Baloth to gain us some life, along with Pulse and Murasa. A little bit of value in grinding matchups, getting back a huge dragon, also gaining life. And that is Green Red Monsters, our Christmas deck, and that's been our instant deck for today. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.